Well, at first glance, this looks like it could be a typical morning setup at any of a number of art shows. But no, this is definitely not Rittenhouse Square in Philly, not Chicago or Des Moines, nor is it beautiful Longs Park in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is my own home on Greenfield Road in Montague, Massachusetts. On account of COVID and all of the outdoor art shows that I usually attend being closed down for the season, I figured the next best thing would be to do a virtual art show set up in my very own yard. So here we have a double booth with all the walls set up inside, waiting for paintings to be hung. I will go from painting to painting, giving a brief description of each, along with their measurements. It is my intention to help give you a better feel for each piece, as if you were here actually at the show, something that would be hard to do with just an image in an email. So, I hope you enjoy. Now comes one of my favorite parts of setup. Hanging a show seems like it should be a simple thing, but it does take a bit of thought and planning, making sure that the grouping as a whole looks good together and each painting works well with its neighbor. So often there's a lot of searching through the boxes to find the right one, trying it here and there, sometimes even taking a whole wall grouping down and starting again from the beginning. But then we are ready to show. So this is floral, 18 inches, 14 inches, oil on panel. Again, influenced by the old Dutch painters. Love the style, love. This one's not a super dark background. It's got a little bit of kind of light brown going on. But what I like about it is there's a like an angle format. It starts up in the upper right-hand corner with the iris, then kind of starts coming down to like the main body with the marigolds and the viburnum, and then like finishes it off at the bottom left corner with this cascading, this little Provence rose. But then also too, very Dutch again, added a few little insects and whatnot, little dragonfly, little snail, little butterfly here. And then of course the little details, little petals falling on the marble tabletop. Okay, we got another floral this time. This one much darker background. This one is called Vibrant Floral. This one, I call it Vibrant Floral just because like the colors just bam pop right out, and really that is helped by that dark background. That's what I love about those dark backgrounds. These blues, the yellow, the pink, the white, everything just pops right out. Also, when doing these dark backgrounds and painting the glass vase, is really the only thing that shows that that's a glass vase is just the little reflections, the little reflection of the water in there. And so it's basically the background is painted first, and then those little highlights in there to make that pop out. And everything just comes right out. And again, very Dutch. I think probably say that with almost every painting I do here. It, you know, very, very Dutch influenced. But Vibrant Floral, 18 by 14. So here we have yet again another floral. I think we're kind of on the this whole half of the booth is florals. I call this one Baluch floral. Baluch meaning the carpet that kind of holds everything down at nice base. And Baluch was a type of carpet back in back in the day, and it was from Afghanistan, northwest Afghanistan, and originally was a saddlebag. So it's a relatively small carpet, but I've been painting it for years. I just love the texture of it, love the color of it, and like I just said, it adds makes a nice, perfect little base. And also I think because this one, the tabletop is at eye level, it kind of gives a more prominent feel to the painting itself, almost kind of like an altar in a sense. And then of course the beautiful flowers. And one little detail that I started doing with this one was a little bit of the petals starting to go, a little brown edge, not a lot, just a little bit, just a little hint to show that they're starting to go. I thought that was a interesting detail, and I couldn't help but put that in there. So Baluch floral, 20 inches by 16 inches, oil on panel. This is a beauty called Floral Basket, and it measures 16 inches by 20 inches, oil on panel. This is the first time I've painted a floral in a basket. Usually they're silver, glass, that sort of thing. There was a Flemish artist from the early 1600s named Balthazar van der Ast, and he inspired me with some of his basket florals, and I just love the explosion of flowers as they come out of there. Another little detail I liked too was first time painting the cyclamen. I haven't done that before. Loved painting the cyclamen, but another thing I loved about it was the leaves, the variegated color, the light green, the dark green, the different patterns. I think it adds such a great detail to it. Again, on a nice little stone tabletop, little butterfly, dragonfly, and of course the red flame tulips, those Dutch tulips. Have to add a few of those in there. We have, so this one's titled Broken Rumor, and it is 16 inches, 12 inches, a little smaller than the last ones. I call it Broken Rumor because the vase the flowers are in is called a rumor, the Dutch word for that kind of drinking glass. And the one I actually use is not broken, but I wanted, I don't know, another, there's always like some kind of little detail that you want to add, and there's something interesting. And so this little broken piece comes out, and some of the leaves of the flowers are spilling out. So, Broken Rumor. And fritillaria, I love saying that word, fritillaria. So a lot of interesting little flowers in there. Fritillaria, some poppies, so bright, so red. You know, how can you avoid not doing that? But you have to be careful where you put those poppies, just because the color is so strong that it can really affect things. And then viburnum and other different things. So dark background, eye level, Broken Rumor. I loved painting this one. This one, there's so much detail in it. So many intricate little pieces, all the little details. Took me forever. This one is called Kashan and Fruit. Kashan being the Persian carpet. It's in the background and it comes folding over the top. It measures 18 inches, 24 inches, also on panel. But actually, when I first started, I was going to do just a basic kind of a generic version of this carpet, kind of nondescript, just nondescript background. But the further I got into it, the more I had to pull out all the details, all the little flowers, they're twisting and turning, the elaborate little border as it comes down. Just love it. And then of course you have this taza, the little vase with the flower or the fruit in it. Kind of a little country scene, little farm scenes etched in there. I had to get all those details too. And then of course the lemons and the limes. Trying to keep the colors simple. Color wise it's pretty simple, but detail wise it's insane. So yes, Kashan and Fruit, 18 by 24. Quanlin in Silver, that's the title. 18 inches, 14 inches. Don't forget, of course, too, the frame is about 3 inches, so you got to add 3 inches each way for that kind of thing. So the measurements I'm giving are panel. So I have not painted Quan Lin for some time. She's a special little statue, oriental statue. I just love the peacefulness of it, the little gestures and whatnot. Um, and this one, really, you can make up your own story. I put things together for my own little reasons, but there's all sorts of things going on. So you have the Quan Lin statue, very peaceful. You have the tulip in the background. You have a little, looks like a little silver jewelry case with the top open, a horn comb coming out of it, a mirror, a folded letter, inkwell, a little quill pen, and then this little background thing. So is it a love letter? Is it, what's going on there? And really that's kind of what it's all about. It's, you can make up your own story. But I love the objects. I love painting that silver. I love the different knots in the wood. And just like I said, just the peacefulness of the Quan Lin. All the pieces put together make a little story. And again, it can be up to you. And here we have a little fruit piece. This one's called Quince, 11 inches tall, 14 inches wide, oil on panel. And every once in a while it's kind of nice. Usually subject matter in my paintings, whether it's fruit or flowers, I get from somewhere else. So it's nice when I can use things from my land. And we have this beautiful quince bush, right outside our door. And so I wasn't planning on painting the quince, but I walked out one day and there they were, just in that green, that amazing green. And I'm like, how could I not paint this? So I pulled a few of them, and you could see there's a few little imperfections, that kind of thing. But I love that. I love that. And so I picked a few, put them together, and I paint this quite a few times. This is a little Turkish coffee pot, a little Turkish coffee cup there. Love the feel of it, love the color of it, love painting that copper. Again, a little stone ledge there, a bright background this time. So quince, 11 by 14. It just occurred to me as I'm walking around from painting to painting, we've gone from the dark backgrounds and now we're getting into some pretty bright light backgrounds. So I don't always do just the dark ones. And that adds its whole thing, a whole different thing to it, a whole different feel. But this one is called Simple Beauty. It is 14 inches tall, 18 inches wide. And we got some plums, my favorite figs, some limes, and this great, painted this one a number of times. Some of you should recognize this one. It's a Persian, like a little teapot. And what I love about it, and actually what I love about most of the objects in here, is there's so many little imperfections. There's imperfections, but not enough to just overwhelm it. And so like here you can see where somebody had repaired like the handle and they dripped solder or something on there. So you have these little like green little solder drops. And to me, just like with anything, it just adds character to an object. And the little imperfections in the plums, something going on here with the fig, but it just gives character, just kind of like a person. People have character, you got to find that and bring that out. And so that's what I'm trying to do in a lot of these paintings, show the character. So Simple Beauty, 14 by 18. This still life is another 14 inches tall by 18 inches wide, oil on panel. This one's called Copper with Pears. A few years ago, I think it was, a friend of mine had gifted me with this great copper pitcher, and then there was another larger copper teapot, which I painted a few times. And again, as with the previous painting, there is all the little imperfections. This one too, the little soldering driplets going on, again adding kind of like a pattern, a texture, that character that I love about things. You know, a little dripping on there, and then of course the pears, little things going on there too. Pretty simple still life. Again, a light background on a stone shelf, but to me it's very muted, very subdued kind of feel to it. But again, a lot going on in there. So copper with pears, 14 by 18. I'm always struck by sometimes the simplest layout can be just as impressive as the larger ones with all the elaborate things going on. And so this one's kind of like that. We have it's called kiwi and fruit, and it's 9 inches tall, 12 inches wide. Kiwi, some pears, and I think this was a guava. I don't know, it just interested me. Had a little texture to it. But again, simple. Lighter background, on eye level on a wooden shelf, little knot in there. Kiwis and fruit. There's a fruit still life called key limes and fruit. This one is 12 inches tall by 16 inches wide. This one too, trying to keep the color simple. Little key limes, another guava, little tangerines, and a lemon. I had to do the little blue shelf too, a little blue marble shelf in there because of course the blue and the yellow and the green, that just all kind of went together for me. Where things really started slowing down with this painting is the texture of all the different fruits. I mean, all those little dots, as you start to complete the painting, you want to get all the little reflections, all the little, like the bumpy texture of the skin. And so, all the light hitting, the shadows coming over from one to the other. There's a lot of detail in it. It's a small painting. It's kind of a simple painting, but this, when you get close to it and you really start looking at it, there's a lot going on. And then of course another little detail, the curled dying leaf up here adds another little detail to that. So key limes and fruit, what did I say, 12 by 16. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little virtual tour. Got to see some of my paintings. Of course, there's more. Just wasn't able to hang them all. Wanted to kind of highlight a few. Most of these are brand new, done over the winter. There are others for you to see. If you go to my website, you can see all of the available paintings, sizes, zoom in and get details. You can see some of the ones that I had talked about, but I just wanted to give everybody an idea of these new ones, talk a little bit about them, kind of make you feel like, how if you had walked into my booth in Chicago and you were talking to me, this is what I'd be saying. These are the same kind of things I'd be saying to you. So trying to give a feel for the paintings more than just looking at the website or sending an image over online. You got to see the scale of the painting in relation to me standing there. So like I said, it's the next best thing, to actually being at the show. Of course, usually at these shows, people are walking around with a little beer, a little wine, enjoying the show and everything. So maybe as you watch this, you can watch it again with a little glass of wine or something. But anyway, so be sure to take a look at my website, and on there will be all the paintings. and contact information. If you're interested in any of the paintings, you can contact me for pricing and arrangements and that sort of thing. And it's funny, usually at the end of a day at an art show, me and my wife will close everything up, close all the walls up, and we'll go meet some friends somewhere, and we'll have a little glass of wine and get some food. And but this is just as good. Here we are in our backyard, the beautiful Montague. So again, I hope you all enjoyed that, and be sure to take a look at the website and get a second look at some of these paintings.